Oh shit. In 2024, at least 37 members of Congress and members of their families traded stocks in companies that are among the Pentagon's largest contractors. The estimated value of those trades were between 24 million and 113 million. That's some big boy dollars. Now, the range is largely wide because congressional financial disclosures generally require lawmakers to report transactions within dollar ranges rather than providing exact values of each trade. The companies which were involved include some of the largest defense contractors in the United States, including Lockheed Martin, RTX, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and Honeywell. These companies receive billions of dollars in contracts from the federal government. And Congress obviously plays a key role in determining how much money the Department of Defense receives and how much money can be spent. Seems like a bit of a conflict of interest, you know? But that's just me. That's just an opinion. Owning or trading a stock in a company overseen by a congressional committee is not by itself illegal. The system designs the system, unfortunately. Now, the legal issue lies when a lawmaker uses material, non-public information obtained through their government position to make investment decisions. Now, let's talk about how the system works specifically. Congress, in particular, is responsible for authorizing and appropriating federal spending. For defense spending, the House and Senate Armed Services Committees play a major role in writing the annual National Defense Authorization Act and overseeing the Department of Defense. Members of these committees have access to information about defense programs, military priorities, procurement, and national security policy. They also receive classified briefings. And at the same time, these members can legally own individual stocks. That means a member of the Armed Services Committee can potentially own shares of a company whose business depends heavily on Pentagon spending, which they directly oversee. Like, it's just not fair. Now, let's look at legitimately documented examples of this insider trading happening. One of the most closely examined cases involved Representative Pat Fallon and Microsoft. In 2021, Fallon sold between $101,000 and $250,000 of Microsoft stock. Now, why did he do this? Approximately 2 weeks later, the Pentagon announced that it was canceling the Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, or JEDI, cloud contract. That contract had been valued up to $10 billion.
Oh, what a coincidence!
Fallon served on the House of Armed Services Committee's subcommittee on cyber innovative technologies and information systems, which had oversight responsibilities relevant to the Pentagon's technology programs. Fallon denied that the transaction was connected to non-public information and disputed allegations of insider trading. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. He fucking denied it. Of course he did. And after all of this, the transaction therefore does not establish that he illegally traded on insider information. God, the US is fucking sick. Another example involves Mr. Senator Tommy Tuberville. Tommy has served on the Senate Armed Services Committee and has disclosed ownership of Lockheed Martin stock. In 2024, he participated in a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing featuring Lockheed Martin CEO James Taislet. I can't pronounce fucking name. Again, neither ownership of a stock nor participation in the hearing is by itself illegal. Designed that way, by the way. There have also been cases involving lawmakers' spouses. For example, financial disclosures have shown investments in defense companies by the spouse of Senator Susan Collins, who has held senior positions relating to defense appropriations. These examples illustrate the broader issue, which is that congressional financial disclosures can show lawmakers or their families have financial interests in companies affected by federal defense policies. And by the way, these do not by themselves prove illegal insider trading. It is designed that way. It's so dumb. I don't understand. And the most blatant example is the Pelosi, this little fucking... Now let's talk about the Stock Act, okay? The main federal law governing congressional insider trading is called the Stock Act. Congress passed the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act in 2012. The law clarified that members of Congress and other government employees cannot use material, non-public information obtained through their official positions for personal financial benefit. It also established additional financial disclosure requirements. requirements. Members generally have to report qualifying security transactions within 45 days, and this system really heavily relies on disclosure. If a lawmaker makes a qualifying transaction, the public can eventually see that transaction through a congressional financial disclosure system. But there are obviously limitations to this. Disclosures can also be filled in late. And you want to know the penalty associated with late disclosures? It's $200. What? Now you might be wondering yourself, how is this so hard to prosecute? Well, the difficulty mainly lies in proving that a specific investment decision was based on material of non-public information. So this requires establishing both that the information that the lawmaker possessed and whether that information influenced the trade. This is so unbelievably stupid, okay? If you possess non-public information, you shouldn't be able to make fucking trade. Now let's do a little fun exercise. I want you to quickly guess how many have been criminally prosecuted from insider trading since this Stock Act was enacted in 2012. You want to know? 0. COVID-19. Okay, what are the craziest times? Let's talk about the trades, specifically in that era. In early 2020, members of Congress received classified briefings about the emerging coronavirus threat. Around the same time, several lawmakers and their families made significant financial transactions. Some of these transactions involved companies positioned to benefit from changes caused by the pandemic. These included technology companies associated with remote work, healthcare companies, and businesses involved in medical equipment. The transactions attracted significant public scrutiny, and then the Department of Justice investigated several lawmakers. And guess what happened? The investigations did not result in criminal charges against the members whose trades received the most attention. Again, like, what the fuck? What's the point? Now, the question that you're probably all asking in your heads, your massive heads. Why has Congress struggled to ban the practice? Now, you probably already know why. I mean, let's all be honest. Let's not look at, let's use our fucking brains. One recent survey cited by members of Congress found that 86% of Americans support banning individual stock trading by members of Congress. Now, I want to have a chat to that 14% that said that they don't want this. That's fucking weird. Support has been both high among Republicans and Democrats. And over the years, lawmakers have actually introduced multiple proposals to restrict congressional stock trading. These have included the Pelosi Act, the Trust in Congress Act, and other congressional stock trading restrictions. However, a big however, legislation has repeatedly faced political and procedural obstacles. Yeah, no fucking shit. The situation changed in July 2026. The House passed the Stop Insider Trading Act by a vote of 232 to 198. Wait, who are these people? The bill would prohibit members of Congress, their spouses, and dependent children from purchasing covered publicly traded securities. It would also require advance public notice of planned sales and establish financial penalties for violations. The bill has passed the House, but has not become law. Therefore, does not currently eliminate congressional stock ownership. The Senate would still need to pass the legislation, and it would need to be signed into law. So, what can we conclude from all of this nonsensical shit fluff? The central fact is really, really straightforward, okay? Members of Congress have historically been allowed to own and trade individual stocks. Some of those stocks belong to companies that receive large amounts of money from the federal government. Some of these lawmakers who also own stocks also serve on committees, are responsible for defense policy and oversight. And in 2024, at least 37 members of Congress and their families traded stocks within companies among the Pentagon's largest contractors, which was an estimated 24 million to 113 million. It's very much likely that it's very much closer to the 113. And the implemented Stock Act in 2012 has done absolutely nothing for prosecuting illegal insider trading. And the most special part of this all is how hard it actually is to prove insider trading. And we're all thinking it, okay? We're all pondering in our fucking brains. We know why this stuff is still legal, okay? We know why. It doesn't have to be said out loud, okay? So what can you take from all of this? I've got one quote. If you can't beat them, join them. Bye-bye.